What if I told you the Cleveland Browns quarterback drama isn't just about who's better on the field, but about who's connected off it? Behind every pass, every benching, and every viral headline, there might be something much bigger at play. Today, we're diving into the chaos surrounding Shedeur Sanders, Dillon Gabriel, and Kevin Stefanski, and how an alleged agent conspiracy could be shaping the Browns' entire quarterback situation for months. The story in Cleveland has been one of confusion and frustration. The fan base is divided, the locker room is tense, and the front office seems more focused on controlling the narrative than fixing the problem. Every week brings a new rumor, a new twist, a new reason to question who's really calling the shots. On paper, this should be simple. Play the best quarterback. But when you start tracing the connections, the agents, the coaches, the college ties, a different picture begins to emerge. One where relationships, not results, decide who takes the field. And at the center of it all is a rookie who may already understand the business side of football better than most veterans. Because in Cleveland, this isn't just about a depth chart. It's about power, influence, and control. And if even half of what insiders are whispering is true, the Browns' quarterback controversy might not just change one player's career, it could expose how modern football really works behind closed doors. When Shedeur Sanders stepped back onto the turf in Boulder, Colorado, it wasn't just another homecoming, it was a statement. Cameras caught him smiling, joking with fans, and teasing his father, Coach Prime, like old times. But beneath that relaxed energy was quiet tension, because Shedeur wasn't supposed to be there. The Browns were preparing for one of their biggest games of the season, yet their most talked-about rookie was miles away, back where his legend began. To the casual fan, it looked like nostalgia, a young star revisiting the place that made him. But to those paying attention, the timing felt deliberate. Just days earlier, reports suggested Shedeur would remain in Cleveland to prepare for the Jets game, a matchup that could define the team's playoff hopes. Instead, he showed up in Boulder, calm but distant, as if searching for something that football politics had stripped away. Some insiders described it as a reset. Others whispered words like defiance and message. So was this trip a coincidence or a quiet protest? Maybe it wasn't just about nostalgia at all. Maybe Shedeur returned to Boulder not to relive his past, but to remind everyone, including Cleveland, exactly where his story began. If you want to understand why Browns fans whisper about conspiracies, start with one name: Jimmy Sexton. He's not a coach or a player. He's one of football's most powerful agents, a man whose phone calls can shift careers or quietly end them. Sexton represents both Kevin Stefanski, the Browns' head coach, and Dan Lanning, the college coach who once led Dillon Gabriel. That connection, fans argue, is no coincidence. When the same agent represents both the NFL coach favoring Gabriel and the college coach who developed him, the optics are suspicious. Add in Cleveland's reputation for front office dysfunction and impulsive ownership, and suddenly this looks less like coincidence and more like coordination. So when fans saw Shedeur Sanders benched again, they didn't just see a football decision. They saw the fingerprints of a system where loyalty, leverage, and backroom deals might matter more than performance. In Cleveland, it suddenly felt like the game wasn't being played on the field anymore. Sexton's client list reads like a who's who of football power. Kirby Smart, Lane Kiffin, Nick Saban, Dan Lanning, and Kevin Stefanski. This isn't just influence, it's leverage. And when those networks overlap, loyalty can sometimes matter more than performance. Fans dubbed it the Sexton Pipeline, a system where relationships, not results, decide who takes the field. The Browns deny it, of course, but their silence only made the whispers louder. Inside team circles, questions about Shedeur Sanders' reps or role were reportedly met with short answers, or no answers at all. Meanwhile, Gabriel's continued starts, despite his uneven play, became harder to justify. Online, the theory caught fire. Reddit threads dissected player rotations. YouTube shows ran segments titled, "Who's Really Running the Browns?" And even national outlets like ESPN began to lean in. "Why isn't Shedeur getting first-team reps?" one analyst asked. "And why does the coaching staff shut down every question about him?" What started as fan speculation was now national conversation. Because if even a fraction of this pipeline theory was true, it meant something bigger. That Cleveland's quarterback controversy wasn't just about competition, but about control. And in today's NFL, control is the most valuable currency there is. Inside the Browns facility, tension was thick. Players could feel it. Shedeur Sanders had gone quiet, focused, detached, and visibly frustrated. Deion Gabriel, meanwhile, looked uneasy, aware that every throw he made was being judged not just by coaches, but by teammates picking sides. Some backed Shedeur's raw command and calm under pressure. Others stayed loyal to Stefanski's plan, fearing the consequences of stepping out of line. The breaking point came during a midweek practice. Sources say Shedeur questioned a play call, not disrespectfully, but with conviction, asking why the offense was being limited when the defense had clearly adapted. The response was immediate and sharp. Coaches shut him down in front of everyone. Within days, his first-team reps were gone. His name stopped appearing in press briefings. He wasn't being evaluated anymore. He was being managed. Behind closed doors, players whispered about what really happened. Some saw a rookie overstepping. Others saw a young quarterback punished for daring to think independently. Either way, the message was clear. In Cleveland, control wasn't earned. It was enforced. And for the first time, even veterans began to wonder who their coach was really protecting. The team, or something else entirely. Then came Sunday, the day everything unraveled. The Browns' offense looked lost, the crowd restless, and tension thick enough to feel through the broadcast. When Deion Gabriel sailed a wide-open throw over his receiver's head, the stadium erupted, not in anger, but in defiance. Thousands began chanting one name, "Shedeur! Shedeur!" By the final whistle, the boos drowned out the post-game music. Online, hashtags like #FreeShedeur and #Stefanski trended across the country. The front office scrambled with statements about team unity, but no one was buying it. Cleveland wasn't just losing games. It was losing control of its narrative. And for the first time, the fans weren't the only ones noticing. Through it all, Shedeur Sanders said nothing. No interviews, no cryptic tweets, just silence. And somehow, that silence spoke louder than any statement could. His restraint became his rebellion. In a league full of noise, he chose calm. And that calm began to unsettle those trying to control his story. To fans, Shedeur stopped being just a benched rookie. He became a symbol of unfair politics, of hidden agendas, of talent restrained by power. The more the Browns lost, the stronger his myth grew. Old college highlights resurfaced on social media. His Colorado days trending again, as if the nation was remembering who he really was. Jersey sales spiked. YouTube montages racked up millions of views, and chants for his name spread beyond Cleveland. What began as silence turned into momentum, and that movement was starting to feel less like fan support, and more like destiny waiting to return. When the Browns leaked a statement suggesting Shedeur Sanders' absence was personal, it backfired instantly. Fans knew better. They'd watched the timeline, the practices, the silence, and nothing about it felt personal. It felt strategic. Within hours, social media erupted, labeling it what it was: the Cleveland cover-up. Even national media began pushing back. Talk shows debated the mystery absence, and insiders hinted that the team's messaging didn't match what players were saying privately. ESPN ran a segment titled, "Who's Controlling the Browns' Story?" Reporters started asking the one question no coach wants to face. Coach Stefanski, are you making these decisions, or are they being made for you? He didn't post. He didn't explain. And with every day of silence, Cleveland's grip on the narrative slipped further. Fans began to believe he didn't need the team. The team needed him. Analysts stopped defending Stefanski, sponsors whispered, and suddenly the question wasn't if Shedeur would start again, but what happens when he does. By the end, Shedeur Sanders had flipped the entire game. Without throwing a single pass, the Browns tried to control the story, but Shedeur mastered something far more dangerous: the silence. In a league addicted to noise, where every headline, tweet, and sideline reaction is dissected, he did the one thing no one expected. He said nothing. That silence became his power. It forced the media to fill in the blanks, made fans question authority, and turned a benched rookie into the most talked-about name in football. The Browns thought they were managing a quarterback. Instead, they were fueling a phenomenon. Because maybe this was never about who starts on Sunday. Maybe it was about who truly understands the game. Not between the lines, but behind them. And while Cleveland kept spinning stories, Shedeur Sanders had already delivered his message, without saying a single word. In the end, Cleveland tried to silence Shedeur Sanders, but silence became his loudest play. Because some quarterbacks win with their arms.